welcome back to See the Stories.
Yes.
Now, Maria, lately it's been very hot. The sun has been scorching. It's been very dry. My skin has gotten also really dry. And I've been, you know that I am a little bit prone to eczema, right? So
I was an eczema sufferer as well when I was a child.
yeah, I have it until this adulthood, and it's kind of annoying.
Is it related to what you eat? Probably?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't changed my diet very much, but interesting.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Because turns out there is a significant connection between food and skin health, Kai. So the importance of attention to eating not only relates to the body's well-being, but also has a significant impact on skin health. The nutrients play an important role in maintaining the integrity of the skin, affecting its elasticity, moisture, and ability to avoid damages from the external environment. Foods rich in antioxidants such as berries, green leafy vegetables, and nuts can help fight free radicals that can damage skin cells and cause premature aging. In addition, intake of healthy fats such as omega-3 fats found in fatty fish and nuts can help keep skin moisturized and reduce inflammation.
However, eating patterns that are high in sugar, saturated fat, and processed food can negatively affect the skin. Excess sugar consumption can boost the risk of acne and skin inflammation, while processed foods that are high in salt can cause water retention, making the skin look puffy and reddish. Saturated fats, which are found in many fast food, can also affect hormonal balances and raise the risk of skin problems. And therefore, maintaining a balanced diet that focuses on fresh foods and essential nutrients can keep our skin healthy and prevent problems that may arise.
We will now talk with Dr. Rendy, who will share insights on eating patterns and skin health. So, welcome to our studio, Dr. Rendy.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Doc.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're so pleased to meet you today. Thank you for carving out your busy schedule to come here.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so Doc, how does food intake really affect our skin health nowadays?
Oh, okay, so if we know in the social media, in the televisions also, it's been said a lot about the diets. But rarely they're telling us about how it affects our skin, mostly about fat loss, about weight loss. But did you know that healthy food is very essential to make your skin conditions even better and to fight the pro-aging conditions that we all have? As you know, after the 20s, all of us, even me, we're getting what we said, every woman is scared about it, getting older, right? So the free radicals coming every day, so the collagen inside our body was break down due to aging. So we need building blocks for that collagen. So if we say it's very simple, like what Maria said, that you have existing conditions about eczema, right? So there's are two major things about the food that we're taking. Okay, the first one is the food that having an effect of pro-collagen. It means that make us winning the game of aging process, right? The second one, if you have the pre-existing conditions, like eczema, you have rosacea, you have allergic to certain food, of course, those going to be an inflammatory conditions that happens chronically, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Some food that been mentioned in your video before and see today, been said that it's supporting the inflammation process in your body and make the eczema or any certain skin conditions gets worse. That's the problem.
And what about sugar? Can it cause premature aging?
That's a good question. So hereby in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia even, people are very in sugars, right? They like everything sweet. Sometimes even when you get stressed, you want to do stress eating, something sweet.
Binge eating in sugar.
Binge eating, that's a good sentence. Well, the thing that you should know, sugar equals to wrinkles. I know that's really painful for women, but that's actually true. Sugar equals wrinkles. Why? Because sugar works in two pathways. The glycation process and also the inflammatory process. The glycation is a total problem, a total hayfuck. in our body because when we eat, there's a spike of sugar inside our blood, and the insulins were spiking also. The sugar may, have some residue in your skin.
Oh, I see.
And it gets into collagens, make the collagens become a different collagens, an abnormal collagens, and it makes easier to break down. Just work as the same as with your hemoglobin. If you have a high sugar, there's a glycohemoglobin, right? The hemoglobin comes from glycations.
So excess sugar means the body has no way of processing this excess sugar, and
results in wrinkles.
Results in wrinkles and everything else havoc. Now, when we're also talking about healthy food and healthy diet, we also want to talk about what about in overweight individuals, right?
Okay.
So what role does unhealthy diet play in affecting the skin health of overweight individuals? They're already a lot more prone to perhaps unhealthier diet patterns, right? So is obesity connected with, skin conditions?
Okay, that's actually an interesting question to be known because due to the research and a lot of literature, even the meta-analysis or a review of the literature, a lot of the high level of research telling that the increasing of a body mass index is meaning there will be more chronic inflammatory inside your body. And hereby, I'm going to give underline that there is certain conditions in our skin that related to the increasing of body mass index. One that's, you says that increasing in body weight, even until obesity. Okay, the first one is the acanthosis nigricans. Did you notice when somebody have a very high body mass index, they tend to have darkening
necks.
necks.
Sometimes it's even a little wrinkled.
Yes, a little wrinkle in the neck, a little wrinkle in the axilla, and also in the thighs sometimes. We call it as acanthosis nigricans. It also works the same way with the glycation process in the collagen. Because of the glycation process, the skin was making an inside process that happening to proliferations of the keratinocytes, the upper part of the skin, and making it having a pigmentations. It's showing that you have an insulin resistance, actually.
Okay, so that's insulin resistance.
Yes.
So insulin resistance is basically when there's just too much sugar that we don't have enough insulin to process. Is that it?
So actually, insulin resistance works in this way. If you get an exercise, the insulin receptors will be made every day. Okay, the insulin receptors works like a terminal. Like there's a bus and there's a terminal. The insulin's receptor is like a terminal. When you get an exercise, you do sports, you do the cardio, the terminal is you add more to your tissues terminals.
Okay.
So the sugar
make it a stronger barrier for sugar, right?
So the sugar, when sugars come, they have the places. But when you don't do enough exercise, meaning that you have a high body mass index, it means that the terminal, you don't have enough terminals, but you have a lot of buzz in there.
I see.
So that create the problems, the chaos happens there.
That's a good analogy.
Yes.
Making the problems in your skin.
Wow, very well noted. Very well noted, Doc. And how does the balance of nutrients in diet affect our overall health skin? And talking about glycation, talking about sugar, what kind of sugar do we need to avoid? Does sugar in fruit count as well?
Okay, so here's the thing. There is a no-go in the pro-collagen process. And there is a yes-go in the pro-collagen process.
Okay.
The no-go, one of the no-go is the high sugar, high sugar food. High sugar food. The other one is the trans fatty acid. The third one, the ultra processed food. Meaning that the food that have a long way to go, that losing all of the vitamins and nutrients, even the fiber. And then the high salt food. And then also the red meat.
So my question is, we were speaking about sugar.
Yes.
Because there are fruits that are quite high in fructose
Yeah,
and sugar.
yeah.
So are we talking about the added sugar that is like in processed food, obviously? But what if are there fruits that are actually
Yes, damaging our skin,
our health, or
and
skin?
overall health. Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have an insulin resistance,
Yeah.
the fructose in food is actually do no further harm for you. But if you have the insulin resistance,
Even fruits can harm.
Even the fruits can harm you because of the spike of the glucose, because of the fructose. Even if it's a different pathway, it's a very complicated pathway that I need to explain in the biochemical, but it works in the simple things like that. So usually peoples with diabetes, they will modify their diet, okay, due to the insulin resistance. But if you don't have the insulin resistance, the fructose actually work not giving you any harm.
So, so still speaking of sugar, other than added sugars, is carb still considered somewhat sugar-based? Or like gluten, for instance, is that also somewhat sugar-based related? Because I know that gluten is very high in inflammatory. Dairy and inflammatory.
Okay. I think you read a lot about gluten, right?
Yeah,
Gluten
we
is
do.
a pro-inflammatory
Yeah.
in certain conditions, but not everyone actually sensitive to gluten. It happens due to there is also a receptor inside your body, usually related to your gut, that sensitive to gluten, a gluten-sensitive receptors.
Yep.
The one that I'm talking about, the terminal and the bus, right? So if you have the gluten-sensitive receptors, and if you have an allergic to gluten, that will worsen the inflammatory process from gluten. The gluten itself,
It's not harmful for people who are not sensitive to it.
yes, it's
okay.
stimulate inflammatory, but if you don't have those gluten-type receptors, actually you won't get any problems by that. But if you have the gluten receptors inflammatory, which is the irritable bowel disease, for example, or any other conditions that makes you allergic to gluten, then the inflammatory process will be cascading and gives you worse. So when you have then eczema, even some psoriasis conditions may be worse by gluten.
I see.
Wow.
So yeah, we talk about sugar, we talk about gluten, and that created wrinkles for people sensitive to it and people who consume excess sugar. But what about acne and skin? What kind of food affecting acne-prone skin?
Oh, okay. So in acne, it's actually kind of tricky because it's different than any other process of our skin. Because acne, it's been researched that the dairy-containing products is inducing the inflammations in acne. You know, some people even cannot tolerate milk, right? Dairy products. 70% of people in this world is lactose intolerant. That's
especially Asian people, right?
Especially Asian and Southeast Asian. Okay? Now that's actually the problems. I didn't say that milk is bad, but the glorifications of the milk by its all that it gives you nutrients that you cannot get any other nutrients from the milk is something that we need to fix. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you have an acne, the milk or dairy product will exacerbate your inflammation. So you need to avoid it as much or just take it in moderation, I think.
So how about with teenagers? We know that teenagers go through this hormonal phase, right? That also affects acne. Is there any foods that can, other than dairy, that can also help calm the hormones in regards to the skin? You know, how acne is affecting the skin through hormones.
Okay, so if we're talking about the food, there are a pro-inflammatory food, but also there's a food that reduces the inflammatory.
Okay, what are
That's
they?
the good news.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is, first of all, it was the abbreviation is the MUFA.
MUFA.
So monounsaturated fatty acid. You can find it in the nuts. You can find it in the almonds. So you can find salmon. You can find it in the olive oil. Only please not fry the olive oil because you're going to
make it saturated.
Let's not make it saturated, so it's not going to be a good olive oil. So use it for marinated or just give in your salad.
In a salad,
Salad is best.
Perfect idea, yes.
So the MUFA give your skin moistures in your skin and also work as an anti-inflammation. So if you have an eczema, so if you have an acne, it gets better if you taking nutrients coming from MUFA that I'm saying about.
What about oats? A lot of people tend to, now we've heard a lot of things about how oats can actually help with sensitive skin and is actually good, you know, nutrition for your skin barriers. Is that true?
Yeah. And it tastes good. Even my baby loves it.
Yeah, oats.
So oats, legumes, and you know, have a lot of containing vitamins and nutrients inside of it. They have some fiber. They have some, you know, they have some selenium even. So most of it, if you're taking an oat, it's okay if you're taking the oat, but be careful with the dairy products that we mix with the oats, right? Maybe it will be more wise if you're taking the almond milk with it,
or soy milk.
Soy milk even better because the soy have the isoflavone, as you know. Isoflavone even work as a phytoestrogen for the women, so you have a good, you know, smooth skin for women, and also the isoflavone is working as a good antioxidant.
Yeah, I love soy milk so much.
I love soy milk.
Yeah, better than almond milk for me.
You know what? Continue. You first now, continue.
I guess I was so excited about
isoflavone
because it's been a while nobody talking about this.
Yes, this is certainly interesting. We will continue our conversation, but we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with Dr. Rendy and talking more about skin health. Stay tuned with us on See the Story.